I have to watch it backwards for John Lopez.
Yeah, oh, there he is. I gotta hear the intro.
I have to watch it backwards for John Lopez.
I gotta hear the intro. Oh no, they're playing us. Greetings, everybody.
Greetings.
Yes, thank you. I know my audio's on. I found that out the hard way. Alrighty. Hey, Roberto, how you doing?
Good, Chris. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm just enjoying my night here. Yes, we are on. It's awesome. So I guess the first thing we should do, does anybody have any questions for us? Anybody? I have to wait 30 seconds for that. Okay, fine, I have to introduce myself. Greetings, I'm Chris Notarile. I am the director, writer, editor, cinematographer, all-around guy for all the short films that you've seen. I am the head of Blinky Productions, and with me, as always, is my hetero life mate, Roberto Lombardi.
Yes, I'm Roberto Lombardi, hetero life mate of Chris Arnott, really.
Dude, you're the Garth to my Wayne.
Yeah, isn't that weird? And I've been playing Freddy Krueger in all of Chris's films, most of Chris's films, and a few of the other films that you're going to see later on after we're done. I'm in some of those too.
How did we come to meet Roberto?
How did we come to meet? In 2007, I auditioned for a role in Chris's very first feature film, Methodic. And he hired me. So that's where we met, and that's where we first started working together. And we kind of built our career of working together little by little ever since then.
Yeah, he had come to my house with his mom, actually.
I did.
You did. You came with your mom, and we were doing the castings for the first Methodic, and I thought you were just so plain. I'm like, you know what? Perfect. I can use this guy. Sure enough, yeah. I didn't realize I was going to be using you half as much as I was going to until we did Maniac Cop. And we did the Maniac Cop short. I was like, okay, this guy has diversity, and I'm like, I just kept using you over and over again. Regarding news on Methodic sequels and reboots, we are planning actually a reboot remake of the original 2007 film, which once we acquire all of the necessary funds in our cast, we're going to do a really big version of the movie. The 2007 movie, as great as it was, was limited. We shot it on DV video with outdated technology already. The aspect ratios just aren't as crisp and big as I'd like them to be. And I myself am now a more experienced filmmaker, so I want to be able to give you guys a real basher movie,
Well, plus, I think you did some tweaking to the script, and I think you made it just a little more your story. So
I did. I took any of the plot holes that may have been in the original, and I easily filled them in. I wanted to make sure that this new version was... I mean, it's no lie that Halloween was a massive influence on the original Methodic. Now I want this new version of it to just distance itself a little bit further than the original and just be a little bit more, its own entity. You want to elaborate on that, Roberto?
No, I think you covered that. I think that when it actually comes into shooting Methodic over again, not only is it going to be more your story and be crisper and cleaner because of your equipment's better, but I think it's going to be better because it's going to lend itself to the trilogy that I know you want to do with it. So,
one of the questions is, do we have any distribution on the original Methodic? Currently, no. We are in between distributors. So whatever is remaining on Amazon and eBay, you may want to pick that up because it's going to go fast and then it'll end up becoming like a collector's item because I'm not releasing the original movie from here on out until I make the new film. So whatever is there is there. So one of our questions is, do I have a trilogy? there will be a Methodic trilogy in total. I have a nice story arc and how I want to take the movie. Methodic 2 is even more brutal and violent than the first one, and the third one will bring it full circle, and it'll each movie will not outweigh the other. It's going to be like a full triangle effect. You can just watch it and have as much fun as you want with it.
Right.
Let's see. What is the best thing I want for the genre as a filmmaker in my films? Or you mean, do I want to bring the best thing I want to bring to the genre as a filmmaker? I want to basically, bring movies that you can watch and just feel like, they kick ass. I want to make kick ass movies. That's what I like doing. Even my heartfelt movies, they still have to kick ass. My horror movies have to just scare the crap out of you, and my action movies have to make you go, "Oh, this is really freaking cool." And my dramas gotta, make you cry. But at the end of the day, you still feel that they're kick ass.
Well, your movies too are also a little on the psychological side. You get your gore in there too, and I know you want your actors to be as good as they can be, but your movies tend to get inside people's heads a little bit, which is where you went with the Krueger. And I'm looking at a question right now. It says, was addressed to me. What was the hardest part recreating my role to perform Freddy? True for the fans, and I've said before that I am a fan of Robert Englund and of the series. I guess the questions really is like, how am I preparing to do it? I'm preparing to do it. I did watch the original films, and what I did is I kind of picked and choose what I liked that I thought was kind of iconically Freddy, mannerisms, and certain looks that he would do, things like that. But I didn't want it to be a flat out copy, karaoke type copy of Robert's version of it. But I wanted the character to be very recognizable because he's unburnt, but I wanted him to be recognizable as Freddy Krueger. And I didn't want anybody to look at it and go, oh, what the hell is he doing? Who the hell is that supposed to be? And luckily, for the most part, people have responded to it. So
we wanted to definitely make your Freddy as realistic as possible, much like, Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer, taking a fictional character and making him feel as human and real as possible. I think would transcend Freddy from being the 80s slasher to being an actual villain on par cinematically with someone like Hannibal Lecter, without the shtick and the gimmick of the fedora, the sweater, and the claw, and then the dreams and all the extra things that you get from this series. Just having the nastiness of a real person.
Right, because we're portraying him while he is an actual real person. So.
Yeah. So one of our first questions I have to get back to is, I've done a lot of fan films, and I have a big passion for some big characters in horror. Which is my favorite character to work with, and is there any story from those characters that I still want to tell? I would say my favorite horror character of all of them is Michael Myers. I've done a lot of Halloween short films already, and I kind of feel that the only thing left for me to do with Michael Myers at this point is just to do something official. I would love to be able to just take on an installment or reboot or something and basically give the world what I think Michael Myers can do, because I have a very violent yet charismatic way to portray the character. That differs from the remake and stays close to what John Carpenter originally did and just brings it to the next level. Roberta,
you're a huge fan of the original Halloween, and my opinion of you redoing it is in the same respect that you're doing with the Krueger films. Is you're such a fan of it that you would be so canon to it that I honestly think you're the right guy to make that film.
I know. Hey, can you scrape your fingers across? Can you scrape your fingers across the radiator for that guy and do the Freddy thing?
What's that? Say that again.
Scrape your fingers across the radiator and do the Freddy laugh.
I don't have the claw with me. It's in the other room.
Ah!
Are you asking me to do that?
Yes, Kevin Walsh on Twitter wanted you to do that, but oh well. Our next question is there anything moving on the Perfect Android Rising front? Perfect is currently on sale on DVD in Japan, of all places. So if you're in Japan, if you're not in Japan, we're working on a U.S. distribution deal and video on demand, and as well as some other territories in Europe. It really just comes down to our distributor right now, which is Tomcat Films LLC. Once they secure everything, the movie will be out. But if you want, you can always nag them, petition them, email them. I don't know. Just go to tomcatfilms.com and just like crank.
They're in control. They're, you know, I bought the Japanese DVD just because I wanted to have it in my collection. It's expensive.
How did you do the Freddy voice?
You want me to do the Freddy voice?
How did you do?
Oh, how did I do the Freddy
Yes.
voice? Again, I took some inflections from what Robert did. And I just kind of gave it my own characterization. And I guess the reason why people are recognizing it so much as being Freddy Krueger is because of the inflections. But I'm really using my own tone for it. If you're hearing my speaking voice now, and it's my regular speaking voice is a little higher. When I do the Freddy voice, though, it's lower, and I kind of draw out my verbs a little more. So I kind of go, hello, Marge. That's from the last one. Speaking of that, though, somebody did ask a question a little bit earlier. I'm scrolling back a little. Is there going to be any more Krueger short films? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
Chris can elaborate on that.
We're going to be making a fourth Krueger. Roberto, turn on your volume. I hear myself. We're doing a fourth Krueger short film called The Slasher from Elm Street, which is basically going to give you everything we haven't put into the Krueger series yet, which is Freddy being viscerally violent, angry, chasing, slashing, hunting, and just being the human slasher that we know he's supposed to be. We've seen him get inside Don Thompson's mind. We've seen him abduct a child. We've seen him kidnap a child. And both abductions, the one abduction is convincingly, and the other one is by force. Now we're going to see Freddy chasing a victim and hunting that person down and doing god-awful things to that individual. And it's going to really just satisfy your bloodlust, everybody. This is for you.
You should do the Freddy laugh.
Yeah, right.
There's several Freddy laughs, by the way, so there's not just the one. There's several of them.
Right, there are several laughs. Our next question is, has there been any movement on the Maniac Cop franchise, as I was trying to, at one point, obtain rights to it with my two short films, Maniac Cop 1 and 2. Basically, there's no movement right now. Maniac Cop is definitely a passion project of mine that I'd like to tackle one day. I do have a future script that one day I'll get around to making. Currently, right now, the license owners just want a lot of money that we don't have available to give them. So it's one of those things that's going to have to just, sit on the back burner until time is right, money's in place, and then I can just buy a Maniac Cop myself and give you guys the Matt Cordell you've been waiting for since 1989. I say 89, or sorry, 1992. 1988 is when it first came up, but 92 was like the last good one. No one likes Maniac Cop 3.
I haven't even seen it.
It's. I'm not gonna say anything. I just it could have been better.
Okay, I see a question here. Has Robert Englund commented on your versions of Freddy? I know that Robert is aware of our versions of Freddy, and through Facebook, I've gotten a couple.
Any official messages from the England camp, but
Right.
We've heard through the grapevine that we've basically been given like a thumbs up, like good job, type thing, but nothing official that we can comment on. It's all hearsay. I'm covering
Right.
myself on that one.
And you have, you know, people on Facebook have been nice to us. Mark Patton has been very nice to us. That I can comment on because Mark Patton sent me a message and said, "Good job." You know, but as far as anything official, no, we haven't heard anything official.
Let's see. Next question. If I could redo Halloween, would I be able to mix in the Halloween 6 stuff and work it in a way that made it creepy? I could, because not to toot my own horn, I'm pretty good at what I do when it comes to, you know, mixing and matching things. I'm like a really good puzzle solver when it comes to franchises. I personally, though, don't care for Thorn and the Michael Myers cult and all of that. I feel that it became very convoluted. But if a studio were to say we really wanted to find a way to fix the mess, I would do it. I mean, I did it already with the Myers short film that I did, Rise of the Boogeyman, where we reference Mrs. Blankenship, who is in Halloween 6, that she babysits Michael Myers now, and he references her to Judith. I just wouldn't put too much focus on it. I would not want to show the cult per se. I really like the idea of Michael Myers being this innocent person who just one day snapped, it came over him, the evil, and he became this monster that we all love and know. John Carpenter said that the scariest thing about Michael Myers was that he was a blank slate. You could just throw anything at him, and I always thought that was the coolest and most purest form of the character. I wouldn't want to take away from that with some sort of a motive or a backstory or a reason. You know, the moment you start putting all of these reasons behind forces of nature, you're not scared anymore, because now you can identify and say, oh, you know, he just wants he wants his machete back, like Jason. It's okay, everybody, he just wants his machete back. Now once he gets his machete back, he's not going to kill you, right? We don't need it.
It's scarier when you don't know why it happened.
Yeah. I appreciate the comment, struggle films. I would very much love to be able to save Halloween. So, yeah, one day we'll see. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, someone was under the impression that we were making a Teen Titans fan film. We were going to. We had plans to make a Teen Titans fan film, but I decided that it was probably best to do an original series as opposed to a fan series, again, just because, you know, I've come to a point in my career where I want to start selling a lot of my movies. I want to make myself marketable and show that I can do more original content and still maintain a certain amount of viewership. So it was just a business decision to go from another fan series into an original series and really try to just market and brand that. The series is now called The Retcon Chronicles, and The Retcon Chronicles basically actually merges all of my short films that you've seen into one, all my original short films into one continuous universe. So my short film The Protector, even I Psycho, Methodic Standoff, Perfect Android Rising, American Lawless, which is actually going to play later, Jack and Jill Android, they all exist in one timeline, and The Retcon Chronicles will reference all of this stuff and just make it one world. I think that's pretty cool, in my opinion.
He has sent me actually the how they're all connected, and it's actually pretty fascinating. It's very worked out, and eventually you're planning on releasing it, right, Chris? You're gonna.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, you'll get to see how they're all interconnected, and it's really cool. You'll like it.
Yeah. And by the way, the short film that'll screen later tonight, Android, I actually remade Android as part of the feature film I did, Perfect Android Rising, which is going to be released on DVD soon. So just bear with me on that one. But that is now part of Perfect. Android is part of Perfect, and Perfect is part of the Retcon Chronicles timeline as well as everything else. So it's pretty cool. I had to acknowledge that one little comment I read here. Let's see. Chris, will we ever see Roberto get crispy and have his first nightmare kill? We've already seen you get crispy, dude. We fried you in Nightmares on Halloween 2, and then we unfried you.
Yeah, you saw it earlier tonight. If you watched, there's two parts to Nightmare Ends on Halloween, and I am Freddy in the second one. So if you watch the second one, I'm crispy for like two-thirds, three-quarters of the short, and then I'm uncrispy for like the very last ending of it. So that's me there. If you want to see me in the makeup.
If we ever go forwards with an official Krueger film, there will be a crispy Freddy at one point or another, either in that particular film or in the series. So I got you guys covered. And now I have been requested to do the Pinhead voice. Okay. We will tear your soul apart. Sounds a little cooler when you like synthesize it and deepen it, and but yeah, that's the voice. Freddy, you should do your Freddy voice.
My Freddy voice. Which one do you want to hear? Because
do say the line "goddamn rednecks."
oh, okay. See, that's going to be another thing,
That's
because
the fried Freddy.
yeah, that's the fried Freddy where I say goddamn rednecks, but that's also phased a little in post production. But the way I did that was goddamn rednecks.
And then we deepened it in post. That way, it just sounds a little bit creepier. They do that. I don't care what anybody says about natural voices. Robert Englund had his voice deepened. Pinhead had his voice deepened. It all sounds cooler once you put a little bit of a reverb on it and you just drop it a notch. Let's see here. Don't know if you can ever elaborate. What the hell ever happened to the Deadpool web series? Okay. In a nutshell, the Deadpool web series basically was taken down because of we were just given the standard cease and desist by Marvel for whatever their reasons, which I can't go into. They requested that the movie be taken down along with my other Marvel movies, and I adhered to the request because I don't want to upset anybody. And that's basically it. You can chalk it up to management. You can chalk it up to the legal department. I don't know. But for whatever the reason is, they decided that it should not be on. And the only thing I can say is that it's down, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, and don't bash Marvel.
Yeah, and we love Marvel still. I love Marvel. I love Disney. I love all the movies that come out and everything like that. There are no hard feelings. It's just one of those things of, sometimes you luck out and sometimes you don't. And I've learned over the years as a filmmaker, fan films will only get you so far, and that's why, like with the Retcon Chronicles, I'm choosing to do more original content now because it's safer. It's my stuff. I own it. I don't have to worry about upsetting somebody or having someone reporting me because they don't like me personally, so they get me in trouble with a bigger entity. No one needs that kind of drama. So I'm going original now. Let's see. We've had Mark Patton on this channel. Awesome dude. Thorn sucks. That doesn't sound... Oh, that's not a question, but I agree.
Oh.
Let's see what else we got here. Any other questions? So no season of The Witch fan film? No. No season of The Witch fan film.
No.
Let's see. Out of all the original short films I've made and non-fan films, which is the one I like the best, and which one do I feel could expand on the most?
I think I know the answer.
Okay. It's two.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is The Protector, which was from 2006. I love The Protector, and it's such an expansive world. I have superheroes. I have a 200-year timeline, which is now part of the Retcon Chronicles, which is what I'm expanding on, that you could just delve into all these lives and all these stories, and a lot of them deal with events in history, a lot of them don't, and it's just really fun and really cool, and it's fresh because you have many different directions, from having your golden age superheroes to your modern age superheroes to horror events to sci-fi events. It's awesome. Then at the other end of it is my short film American Lawless. American Lawless, yeah, is friggin' awesome. It's a Western. It's set in the future, and there's all kinds of politics you can address. There's a love story. There's a revenge story. There's betrayal, and it's just one of those things that if you watch it, if I ever got to do American Lawless the way I see American Lawless, it will be the next Blade Runner. Like, visually, that's how freaking cool it's going to be. It's going to be like Blade Runner. You just... No matter how boring you think Blade Runner is, you still say it's a good movie. It's just cool looking.
It is cool. American Lawless is actually one of my favorite projects of yours that I've done. So,
yes.
Oh yeah, we put a lot of work into American Lawless. Everybody involved really did, and behind the scenes, in front of the camera, acting, we were very picky about the short of American Lawless.
Yeah, especially when it came to filming, we had to. I was even willing to reshoot. It's very rare that I reshoot anything, and I wanted to make sure that it was what we wanted, so we reshot. But I do love even for a movie that was shot for like a $40 budget, it still feels like the future. It's just I was so pleased with my decayed locations that I found that are in New Jersey.
Well, if you're gonna go for decayed.
I know. So, our next question. Chris and Roberto, what films have inspired your career? I'll let you go first.
Oh, boy. As far as being interested in horror and acting in general, probably I was first influenced by all of the original Universal horror films of the 30s and 40s. Yes, Dracula was probably my first introduction to horror movies, and I just saw it on the screen and I was like, I really want to do that. That would be fun. And I was a kid at the time, so of course I'm thinking like the way a kid would think. But later on, strangely and oddly enough, you know, I saw The Exorcist and saw Halloween and films like that. And then A Nightmare on Elm Street came out in '84. And I remember distinctly thinking at the time, God, I would love to play an iconic character that's so original like that. And here we are.
Hey, it only took you 25 years.
It took me 25 years, exactly.
I'd say for me, believe it or not, I had a very wholesome childhood. So I didn't watch any horror movies until I was 16. I didn't watch, my first horror movie was Halloween. I was 16 years old when I first watched that. So that, of course, inspired me to become a filmmaker or got me into horror. And it also inspired me to become a filmmaker because it was the first movie that I saw where I go, this is in a place that I recognize. It looks like my area of living, and it looks like something I could actually do. So Halloween was a huge influence on me. And then other movies like, you know, growing up, Batman, Superman, the movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Terminator 1 and 2, like these types of films that shaped my childhood and my love of comics and all that stuff. And then just growing up until finally I was able to pick up a camera and do it myself. They definitely made me the filmmaker that I am now. Let's see. Chris, what has your experience been so far with your Freddy shorts, of your creation and vision? And Roberto, what was your experience been being Freddy? So we'll start with you. What's your experience being Freddy?
I've told the story once or twice before about my experience being Freddy. I remember when Chris first asked me about it. We were in New York driving back to where he lived in New Jersey at the time back then. And he said, how'd you feel about, you know, doing a Freddy Krueger film? And I was like, well, you know, yeah, of course, you know, I would do that because it was, you know, a character I was very interested in. And this was, God, it had to have been the beginning of 2011. And, but when we got down to doing the first Krueger film, which was in the summer, I believe, of
no, the first Krueger, was it the summer of 11? No, it was like April or June.
That's summer.
It doesn't matter.
Ish, whatever. But I mean, we did it, and I mean, I remember putting like a good 2-3 weeks worth of research and just like getting in the mindset of it. And we shot it, over, I don't know how long it took us to shoot it because we did it on different days. And then Chris edits like lightning, so it's usually ready by the end of the shoot. He's almost done editing it. But when it came out, I remember thinking to myself, I'm so happy with what we did and I really liked it, but oh my God, everybody bashed Jackie Earle Haley for daring to play Freddy Krueger. Fans are going to freak out and they're all going to hate me. And seriously, I was expecting like at least 50% of the fans to go, "How dare you?" And I'm pretty pleased that, and I'm not exaggerating at all. Of course, there's people who don't like me. That's just natural. It's going to happen. But a good 90 to 95% of the people that we've been in contact with, fans who like the films, about 95% of them have really, been very supportive, and we really appreciate that and thank them for it. So my experience playing Freddy has been 100%, probably one of the best things I've ever done. So I'm really happy.
My experience with Freddy basically has been it's like a runaway train. I never expected to do a second Krueger short film, but they were always rated very well in the comments on YouTube. People always had the most to say about the first Krueger short, and with each movie, it just basically, it's me fleshing out the character more and more, and my goal more than anything with any fan film I do is to just please the fans. And if I feel that I please the fans, the more that I win over, the happier I am. So, one day if I have like 100% consensus from like the entire fan base of one particular property, I'll be like, yes, now I must move on and find another type thing,
Well, going further with what he said, there really wasn't any choice but to. Yeah, of course it's a choice, but we felt there was no choice to go and do another Freddy one. That's why we did another tale, because we started to get press for it, and not just like, fans are amazing, but when you're getting press from Australia and press from the UK and the USA and all these different countries saying, "Wow, you've got to see this." And then fans are writing to you saying, "That was so great. When are you doing another one? When are you doing another one?" And it went on for 2 years. When are you going to, do something else? So we did another tale, and then it got even more popular and even more press. And then with a walk through Elm Street, it just went even further with that. And getting press on FearNet and different places like that. Of course, it inspires us to want to do more of them.
Yeah. So. See, Ryan wanted to know what brings me back to fan films, because I have done a couple of features, but I keep doing fan films. I keep doing fan films because at the end of the day, I am still a fan. I am a proud fan of the things that I like, and I still feel that for 3 reasons. I make a fan film, one, because I enjoy the subject, and I really just want to do something that's creative, artistic. 2 is the business aspect of it. All fan films have built-in audiences, and if you're going to make a movie and you just want to keep the ball rolling and keep people coming to your channel, you might as well do something that has a built-in fan base. It's just easier to just bring them in and then make more. And a third, of course, is because sometimes I feel that my favorite thing just wasn't given enough justice on screen, or has been lacking exposure for the longest time. I mean, prior to, let's say the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, when was the last time Freddy was in cinema? It was Freddy vs. Jason. That was already over 10 years ago, and at the time it was 7 years ago. And prior to that, it was 1994 or 1995. In 1994, yeah, it was 20 years. So yeah. All these decades are just piling up between some of your favorite things, and the only people who are making content are the fans. So that's why. And then our next question is, all right, I'll just answer this one quick one. Who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman? I have 2 answers. I have 2 answers for that. Practical fight. Superman. Punches Batman's head clean off, or now with the new Man of Steel, breaks his neck, right? Problem solved. That's the practical fight. Then there's the psychological fight. Batman would win. Why? Because Batman would get inside of his head and say all kinds of fucked up shit that would make Superman go, oh my god, I can't kill you. And then, of course, Batman has the kryptonite ring and a super suit, and he'd beat the crap out of Superman, then say that line of, remember this day, this is the day that you were beaten by a man, blah, 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 you know? So just pick your favorite. Do you want to have Man of Steel Superman break his neck, or do you want to have psychological Batman turn Superman into a pansy? It's your pick. There's never going to be a definitive answer on that one. And then, who is the doll man? Will I tell you? No. The doll man is a demon. That's all I'm going to say. He's a demon. And if you want to know more about that, you're going to have to just keep following Methodic until the trilogy is completed. I promise you, though, by the time Methodic 3 comes out, you'll know everything. And you'll be like, that was awesome.
You can start forming opinions on that, though. If you watch the original Methodic and Methodic 1.5, there's clues in there.
Yes. This is a good question. Do I have any silent films planned? I did that with my short film Superhero. It had a monologue, but it still felt like a silent movie with music. I would love to do a silent movie, and I might do that one day. I have a couple of things on my plate right now I gotta do, but once I get it out the way and I just have the time on my hands, I actually do want to do like a really cool black and white silent movie. So that's definitely something I'm going to tackle one day. Let's see what else we got here.
I would be a good Dracula. Well, thank you, because I am going to be playing Dracula. I'm currently attached to a film called Dracula's War, and we've done some promotional photos for it, and I did a little promotional video for it. It's something that we're looking to film this year, possibly in the summer, maybe a little later than that, but this year we're planning on it. So yeah, keep your eyes out. I'm going to be playing Dracula, so thanks.
Would I do a Batman silent movie? Yes and no. I would, just because it sounds awesome. I'm not going to, though, because I'd rather do some more original stuff right now. I think Freddy Krueger is basically one of the last fan film series I'm going to be making for a long time. After Krueger, and you know, apart from Krueger, everything else I want to do from here on out is going to be original until I go official with stuff. Just because I've made a lot of fan films already, and I think I need to start being known now more for my original content over my fan content. Let's say.
Agreed.
And thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for saying that I was good. Who said that? It's I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Amorous Lover. Says
Amorous Lover.
Yeah. Jackie was good. You're right. There's things he did that I thought were very good, but thank you for saying that I beat him out. I think he's amazing, though. I think he's a great actor.
Do I have any guilty horror movie pleasures or guilty pleasure horror movies? Yes. I would say Maniac Cop is definitely one of my guilty pleasures. I think that's an awesomely bad movie. It's not so much a horror movie, but it's still frigging great, and I'll always watch it. Project Shadow Chaser. Anybody who looks up Project Shadow Chaser, it's a sci-fi movie. It's like Terminator meets Die Hard with Martin Coven, and it's so bad, it's just good. And you watch that movie, and you're always going to feel better about yourself. Let's see. What's your plan? What's your pre-production process like? Do you do any? Do you plan on bringing back any of the cast in the first Methodic? And is your Axe Massacre film in your timeline as well? Okay, first part. What's my pre-production process like? It's actually very meticulous. I write my script. I do key artwork. I design my characters. I plan out my locations. I just make sure I do everything except storyboard, basically. I just make sure everything is the way I want it to be. But my shots are already in here, so I don't really need to worry so much about boarding itself. I have playlists of music that I want that'll help inspire me when writing or when planning stuff out that pertain particularly to the movie. I even start doing like the opening credit sequence just to really psych myself up. regarding the cast of the first Methodic, there will be a few people that will return from the first film and the reboot. Roberto will be in it. Not everybody's going to be the same character, though. Some people will be given bigger roles. Some people will be switched around. But Roberto's definitely going to be in it, as well as a couple of other people. And finally, is Axe Massacre in my timeline? Yes. It is in the timeline of the Retcon Chronicles, Protector America. Starting with Protector, ending with American Lawless, Axe Massacre is right in the middle of it somewhere in the early 21st century, because it's now. It's not future or past. I previously...
Go ahead. No, I was reading the same question you were. You previously worked with Charles Cyphers on Methodic. If you could work with any cast member from the original Nightmare on Elm Street films on a Krueger short, who would you be interested in working with? Wow.
I would definitely love to work with Robert England and Heather Langenkamp. A more contemporary piece with Heather. I don't want to do... there's no story that I can tell with a contemporary, Nancy Thompson. She'd be in her late 40s, early 50s by now, and presumably she died in part 3.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no real story that I can tell with a resurrected Nancy Thompson that can't already have been told within the series itself. I really what attracts me to the story now more than anything is the fact that it's a period piece, and I'm delving in Freddy's lifetime as a person living in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, and then dying in the 70s, not making it into the 80s. I think that is the most interesting for me. So if I were to ever bring back any of the original cast members and anything, it would purely be either as cameos or supporting characters, or lead if they wanted to, but they would not be playing the characters that they were in the series. Like, if I had the opportunity to work with Heather, I'd have her play somebody else within this new universe I've created, much like having, and sometimes when they reboot movies, they bring in the original, or when they do theatrical versions of old TV shows, they bring the old TV cast members in to cameo as something else, It'd be something like that. Let's see.
Yeah. There's a question for me here from Ryan Basel. He says, since he's asked Chris 2 questions, he wants to ask me, what do I enjoy doing when I'm not scaring the hell out of people? Actually, I'm like
the 80s music.
I know, right? I'm a musician, so I enjoy music a lot. And as far as what I do outside of acting to relax, I'm a warm weather guy, so I like traveling to warm climates, and I'm like a beach guy. So Miami, Puerto Rico, places like that, I like traveling.
California.
What's that?
California.
Well, California too. All right, that'll make Chris happy because they're out in California and I'm in Philadelphia. So.
Let's see. What are my thoughts on Sandy Calora's Batman Dead End and the content by Aaron Schoenke and Bat in the Sun? Sandy Calora's Batman Dead End was definitely a very big influential fan film when it came out. It had a nice budget, and it proved that fan films can be taken seriously. I really feel that it was a milestone in the fan film community. Bat in the Sun have amazing costumes. I've always been impressed by their work. I have, like any fan, I have gripes with like the story and the content and the direction that it sometimes takes, but I have nothing but respect for Calora and Bat in the Sun and what they do.
I actually respect everybody because even though there's varying degrees of what you like and don't like, and that's just normal, but I respect the process, and I have respect for anybody who puts their stuff out there and really puts in the work to get it done. Not everything's going to be great, but I respect the effort that people put into things.
Let's see, Roberto, what inspired you to be in the career that you chose?
Wow. Because I like people looking at me. No, it's just something. I come from a creative family. There's all actors, musicians, artists, singers. A lot of my family is either on television or behind the scenes, or a musician, or makes records or whatever. And that's both sides of my family, my mother's and my father's. It's just kind of bred into me. I knew I was going to do something like this from being a kid.
I think as far as I'm concerned, I really like telling people what to do.
And you're good at it.
And I'm really good at it. So I don't think there's any other job that lets you play pretend every day and let you tell people what to do than being a filmmaker. So no, I just love telling stories. I've always been a storyteller. I've always had a tale to tell somebody. Sometimes I've had tales from Elm Street. So I just so I just really felt that being a filmmaker is right for me. It was one of those gut instincts that you just have. Like, I was always artistic, I was always creative, but when I realized that I want to tell stories and I chose my medium, it was, case closed at that point. Let's see. Do I think that Blinky Productions is bigger or will get bigger than Trauma? I don't know if I'm bigger than Trauma Films right now. I know that they've been around longer and have more name brand recognition. Do I think we'll get bigger one day? I should hope so. That's part of my goal is, global domination. You can't really do that if Trauma is more famous than you are.
Yeah, I think the whole point is we're not in this to not succeed, either of us, like independently of even knowing each other prior to 2007. I didn't start acting because I wanted to sit at home and do it on the weekends. I want, we want careers out of this. So, all due respect to everybody else, the two of us want to dominate everything.
Yeah. Here's an interesting question. I used to work with Brandon Slagle on a decent amount. Any chance that the two of us will be working together again? I'd love to. I miss Brandon. I haven't worked with him since 2010, actually. Brandon is a very busy filmmaker right now these days. He's working on a lot of his stuff. So if I've asked him, and when his schedule clears up, and if my schedule's open, I'm pretty sure we'll find a way to collaborate again. So I'm hoping on that one. I like the guy.
Brandon's a great guy, and he, like Chris said, he's very busy. And just because you don't see people working together all the time, like so much as they used to, it doesn't mean that they won't ever again, or they're not friends anymore. It's just people's careers take them in different directions sometimes.
We were asked, did you see the RoboCop remake? I
Nope.
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it either. I can't. No comment. We haven't seen it.
Nope.
We'll get back to you on that one. Let's see, Chris. There was a short film you made to get off the ground at a motel. Any current plans of trying to get that done? I believe you're referring to Motor Lodge, not One Night Stand. One Night Stand was a completed short film. We will be making a Motor Lodge movie further down the line. I have a script that's in the work right now, and we're going to try and raise funds for it. And it'll be a nice, wholesome horror movie in a nice, cool little setting. But
Wholesome.
yeah, when I say wholesome horror movie, what I really mean is it's going to be fucked up.
And by the way, there's the comment here from Rob. Yes, Chris and I are fine with going over.
I don't mind. Let's see, Roberto, is there anything you would like to direct?
I don't. You know what? I've been an assistant director on probably 5 or 6 projects, and I've been a producer on more projects. In fact, I've worked as a producer on a couple of Chris's projects. I'm more interested in acting. I've actually stepped away from producing because producing and assistant directing, especially when you're acting in a film, it takes way too much energy and effort, and it actually takes away from your performance as an actor. So maybe when I'm not acting anymore, which I can't see that happening anytime soon, I'll go into something like that.
Roberto, you don't want to share my pain?
No, I've shared enough pain scenes, and I like acting. Thank you.
All right, let's see. We got, have I been impressed by any fan contests I've hosted? Yeah, I've been impressed by the fan contests I've hosted. I've very much like wish that there were more people that submit to my contest and everything like that. But usually it's the winners that impress me the most, which is why I select them. But I'm always flattered that anybody would take the time out of their day to enter a contest that I created, let alone hope to win it. So yeah, I'm quite impressed. And as far as the Redcon Chronicles, without spoiling anything, obviously, what can fans expect as far as my slate for the upcoming year? What projects are next for Blinky Productions? I know who that is, Chaz. I know it's you.
Yeah, Chaz, we would like to work, it'd be nice if we all work together at some point, too. So, hi, Chaz.
Hey, Chaz. All right. Well, apart from the Redcon Chronicles, we're going to be producing a new short film. Redcon Chronicles, Krueger 4, and a new original short film called Pretty Little Killers. Pretty Little Killers. It's a nice psychological thriller, and there's not much I can say about it yet, but basically it's just a messed up scenario about 3 women debating over killing somebody. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then after that, we're going to be working on I believe this is now my 4th feature film. I can't reveal what it is just yet, but I will be doing that within the next couple of weeks. It's going to be an awesome sci-fi horror satire that when you watch it, you're just going to be like, oh, that's cool. It'll remind you of everything you've seen before, but it's not everything you've seen before. It's completely just fun and awesome. And I'll be making announcements for that on the Blinky Productions Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Blinky Productions, as well as my own personal page, chris.notarile. Let's see. Berto.
Yes.
Can you say in Freddie's voice, "This is it, Jennifer, your big break in TV"?
Robert's line. Yeah, I could say that if you want to. Sure.
Do it.
It's "This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch." That's my version of it. I like Robert Englund's version of that better. So, I am a fan of Robert's.
So, Roberto, being Paulie, do you like him now? This is an Underground Kings miniseries reference.
Paulie, yes. I am very proud of the Underground Kings series, and that's actually going to move forward into a 2nd season. We just did a little 4-episode mini season of it, where I play the head of a mafia crime family in Philadelphia that owns a bunch of gambling houses. And yes, what I like about the character of Paulie is that Paulie is not a stereotypical mafia crime guy. He's looking to diversify. He doesn't want to look the part. He wants to be his own guy and run things his way. So I like the fact that it's not a total stereotype. It's a fun show, and everybody on it is top notch. They've all been in a lot of amazing projects like The Wire, Silver Linings Playbook, The 5 Heartbeats, lots of Hollywood and television stuff, and that's the caliber of actors that I'm working with in that project. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Roberto, what is your favorite holiday and why?
My favorite holiday is not what you're going to expect me to say. It's not Halloween. It's actually Christmas Eve.
Yeah? Why?
And Christmas Day is great too. I like Christmas Eve because most of my family and a huge amount of my friends get together at my cousin's house, and it's just a big party. I really like it.
My favorite holiday is Halloween, obviously. I believe the easiest way to explain it is to quote Anna Gasteyer playing Martha Stewart on Saturday Night Live back in the 90s. There are 365 days of the year, and only one of those days am I allowed to let the demons in my head out. That's Halloween. Oh,
here we go. Any chance you'll make an adaptation of
Danger Man.
Danger Man. I just happen to have the book right here.
Dude, you gotta bring that with you next time. I don't even have a copy yet. Yes.
Hey, I'm not even in this, and I support Chris because he's my friend. And you know what? This thing is great. Buy it. There. I pinned you.
Yes. There will one day be an awesome, awesome Danger Man action comedy. It's going to be just full of what the book is, and it's going to be just as fucked up. I love Danger Man. I can't wait to make him into a movie one day. Let's see. Since I moved to California, have I had the chance to pitch to anything to studios? I cannot get into that right now. I'm sorry.
Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah. Let's see. Chris, host is awesome. I did a good one on that one. Existence, police, and oh, thank you. Thank you for liking host. Indie horror. Will this go on YouTube? I'm very sure that'll be answered. Okay, next question. Last question for both of us from Duplication Productions. What's your greatest fear?
Wow. Me first or you?
You go first.
My greatest fear is losing my parents.
My greatest fear is stupidity. Man's stupidity is its greatest weakness, and it will destroy us all. And I guess my greatest fear is seeing American lawless happen in reality. You don't want that kind of a future. You don't want perfect Android Rising as a future, because if those futures come to pass, we're fucked. And that's not good. Let's see. Yeah, you're welcome, Ryan. You're welcome, Hunter. You're welcome, everybody, for asking your questions and us answering them. Let's see. Anne Rice Lover, haven't gotten mine either. Patience. What was your question, Anne Rice Lover? Oh, never mind. That was for Robert, not me. Let's see. For those who don't know, I am a smoker who gets hit his butt kicked in Danger Man. Oh, is that Eric? That's Eric Roberto.
Wait,
dude.
wait.
You could have just put Eric. I thought you were a girl for like half of this, man. Yeah, flip to the page where Eric gets his ass kicked.
Is that this right here?
Yeah. No. He's the one where Danger Man knocks on his door. And he's like,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
How does it feel to get your creativity out to us fans? It feels awesome. That's what it feels like. Hold it up. You got to show them.
I can't find it.
It's like towards the end. He says, "This is the crack house, and I'm about to do something stupid."
All right, I'll look for it while you're answering questions.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, right there. He's in the lower third. Hold it higher. There you go, Eric. There's your FaceTime. Okay. Chris, have you thought of working with Damien Vargas again on future projects? If Damien comes out to California, it's definitely in the cards. It's just that Damien's in New Jersey and I'm in California, so there's 3,000 miles between us. So it's a bit of a practical problem, especially since he doesn't have a car and it'd take forever on a bus, and he's not going to walk that. Oh well.
I like Anne Rice books too.
Yes.
I'm reading your comments. I really do. In fact, I have about 14 of them.
Does anybody have any other questions for myself or the great Mr. Lombardi? All right, then.
Uh-oh.
What?
Rob's asking one. We always ask this one. Here it comes. At some point.
Type faster.
What advice would you give to
aspiring
leaders?
I got this one. I have several tidbits of advice. The first advice is whatever you do, don't fuck up. Being a filmmaker has a lot of pressure on it, and you want to make sure that whatever it is that you do the best you can. I'll get to that question in a second. You want to don't go overboard either. it's one thing to be able to do everything yourself. It's one thing to be able to write, shoot, edit, direct. But don't do it because you're a glory hog, because you want your name in the credits 18 times in a row. Do it because you have the ability to do it and it's the most efficient thing possible. If you can't, get someone else. One piece of advice I always give aspiring filmmakers, do not star in the movie you are directing. If you're going to star in it, don't claim the direction. If you're going to direct it, don't claim the lead role. It's just so pompous. You want to either star in a movie, become an actor, or you want to direct, be a director, or cameo. Don't start starring in your projects until you've been doing this for like, you know, a couple of years, maybe 5 or 10. That's when it's okay to start saying, all right, I got this. I've been doing this for a while. I know what I'm doing. I got a DP I trust. I mean, even I had difficulties starring in the Mr. J series, and I did not take full direction credit because I didn't direct. I was being directed. Yeah, it's not going to be your vision if you're going to do all of that. Other than that, do everything as practically as possible. If you need lights, go out and get garden lights. If you need makeup, get the cheapest makeup you can and just mix and match, experiment. You don't need to have a gaffer, grips, a lighting rig, trucks, and tracks for your camera. Sometimes putting your camera on a stick is all you really need. And I literally mean a piece of wood duct taped to your camera, you know? Sometimes it works. The cheapest things work. The first Nightmare on Halloween was... the Pinhead costume was made with duct tape. It was literally made with duct tape. That's why it's poorly lit. So you can't see that duct tape. People are like, wow, you really lit that nicely. Yeah, sure I did.
I'm just going to go further with that and like add the acting aspect into it. Everything that Chris just said about directing and making films is absolutely correct. But for actors, be honest with yourself about your acting ability and always make sure that you improve upon yourself. Because everybody can always improve. Nobody is up here all the time. You can always get better. And you got to like be honest with yourself and your ability. Be honest with yourself where you are in your career. And if you aren't where you want to be, get yourself where you want to be.
There's a saying I always tell people: when you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot. And you want to stay green forever. The second you think you know better than everybody else is the second that you're an idiot. You're going to fail at what you do next. You may be really talented, but the second your ego gets the better of you, you're screwed. I know I'm talented, but I know I'm not the most talented person in the world. And I always know there's always something somebody else can teach me. And I always want to try and expand upon that one way or another. And I'm always going to find someone that I trust to give me an honest opinion about something or to talk to me about something. I may not have a group of yes men around me. And I don't ever want a group of yes men around me saying it's awesome. Granted, it's always great to hear yes from people, but sometimes you got to suck it up and go, does this suck? And not be afraid of someone looking at you squarely going, yeah, it sucks. The less you hear about it, though, the better you are. I'll tell you that much. Either that or you surround yourself with yes men.
And to answer your question about the snow, I absolutely hate it. If I could go out and shoot it, I would. We've had almost 60 inches of snow in Philadelphia this winter. So, yeah, I hate it.
Did you know that Xerxes, the Persian king from 300, was actually a real king? And one time there was a storm that wiped out the bridges that he had built to conquer Greece and Sparta. So he ordered that the ocean to be whipped. 300 lashes.
Okay. So he was delusional.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying he literally had men walk to the beach with whips and whoosh, whip the water.
Weird.
You just reminded me of that, that's all.
Okay.
And then what exotic locale would I like to film at? I would like to film anywhere at this point. There's so many locations of anything. I love industrial locations like factories. I'd want to shoot overseas. I want to shoot in the air. I want to shoot, like in New Zealand or in the desert. Anything that just looks cool. I'm already in California, so I'm already living up the exotic locales here. I mean, I shot in Jersey and New York most of my life, so now that I'm out here, I'm already dealing with the exotic locale thing. It's awesome.
England for me.
Yeah, England.
Yeah.
Let's see. Have I thought about doing a Star Trek, Star Wars, or Die Hard fan film? That's a good question. Star Trek, no. Star Wars, yes, on one condition. 2 versions. One actually includes Die Hard. How cool would it be to do Die Hard with Han Solo as John McClane? Right? Stormtroopers, ho ho ho, now I have a ray gun. Darth Vader is Hans Gruber.
Oh my goodness.
Obi-Wan Kenobi as Mr. Tanaka. Leia as frickin' Holly McClane. I love you. I know. Just whatever. You're freaking awesome.
Oh, you're losing me, but okay.
All right. And then the second idea was I wanted to have one where stormtroopers fought the alien from the movie Alien. How cool would that be? A bunch of stormtroopers go into a bunker and the eggs open and the facehuggers jump out and they're just like shooting at them like, what is this? And then Die Hard. In general, I just love to do Die Hard also. I would love to be able to actually do like Die Hard 6 and just end it.
You did a Die Hard photo shoot that's pretty cool. That's of you.
Yeah, that was just fun. I did a fun Die Hard shoot, but I'm saying like I would love to actually be able to do like the next Die Hard movie and bring it full circle. I got the working title. I caught the working title of the new movie called Die Hardest, and I'm like, really, Die Hardest? That's what you came up with?
The next one will be Die Hardester.
Yeah.
But anyway. We have a question for both of us. How did we get started? Pre-college, post-college, whatever. Me personally, I got started early. When I was a little kid, I was on a local Philadelphia TV show for a few episodes. And then when I was a teenager, I did some extra work. And then I moved away and tried to be a rock star. Seriously, I did. And then when I came back, I started acting again. So I got started young.
I just want to touch upon the rock star thing. This dude had a perm, he had bangs, he had mascara, guy eyeliner, spandex pants, cod pieces. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so awesome.
And it was blonde hair. Yeah.
Blonde curly hair. Like, you just, all you want to, he was like a My Little Pony. You just want to comb and pet his hair. It was so adorable.
With a Motley Crue attitude.
Exactly. I got started, since I was a kid, just drawing and reading comics, and then finally in college, taking animation, I started making live-action films, and I just stuck from that point on. So I'd say like my junior year of college, I made The Nightmare Ends on Halloween 1, and from that point on, I just continued making movies, and wasted a degree, but whatever, it worked. And then let's see, would I ever make a full-length feature film version of Split? Not really, just because that story has already been told. I already gave the ending away in the short film. You can't really drag out 90 minutes worth of, one person playing 2 parts, waterboarding the other before it gets redundant. It's just talking. The last 2 Die Hard movies were horrific. Don't hate on them that much. Die Hard 4 was pretty good. 5, not so much, but 4 was. I liked Die Hard 4. Die Already. That's a good one.
Just
now
Die
just
Already.
talking about Die Hard movies at this point.
Bruce Willis, just die already.
If I were to do a Die Hard movie, it would definitely have a more catchier title, like I like Die Hard Patriot, or I don't know. I'm out of that one. I got nothing else right now.
I gotta say, I as far as Die Hard goes, I like seeing Bruce Willis on that role. I just like it. There are varying degrees, of course, of which movies are better than other movies, but I just love him in the role. I think he's awesome in it.
Yeah.
So
let's see. Chris, have you any thought about doing a RoboCop or Highlander fan film? In the words of Stephen Colbert, give me money.
Yeah.
Let's see. Last question for me from John Jimbo Ritter. What is my dream film? Um, I would say a toss-up. My dream original films would definitely be The Protector, American Lawless, and then my dream licensed properties, The Blue Beetle, Catwoman, Final Fight, Maniac Cop, and then Krueger, Krueger, and then maybe something else like like a sequel to something like Die Hard. I'd love to do something like that, but yeah, those. Anything else, folks? Nothing?
It's a
No?
good interview. It was long.
It's a good interview. Yeah, we did pretty well. We were on this for like an hour and 20 minutes.
Dream film for me. Okay. Wow. I don't know. It's got. I was gonna say Freddy, and then you said. I guess you're saying not Freddy.
Well, apart from Freddy, what else?
Apart from Freddy, well, that would be the top right now because that's kind of on my slate of things that I would really like to do. But I would like to do some stuff that isn't horror. I know it's sacrilege on this site, but I'm sorry. I would like to, and I've already kind of gotten to do that. I would personally like to see Perfect Android Rising come out because that wasn't horror, that was sci-fi, and it was a very different role for me. Really, I would just like to work with different people. It's not more projects. It's just like I would like to work with different actors, different directors, different companies.
I think we're going to have to wrap this one up now. You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm so glad we had this time together.
I can't believe you even know that song.
Of course I do.
All right.
Before we go, I want to basically just remind everybody to check out our channel, my channel, which on YouTube is Blinky 500. Yours is RTL Productions.
It has my name on it too. It has Roberto Lombardi RTL Productions, but just Google me, you'll find me.
Yeah. One of your films is on Netflix, Roberto.
It was on Netflix. He's talking about abduction.
Abduction,
It's
yes.
not anymore.
The sex trade
The
thing.
sex trade movie, yes.
Abduction. But yeah, check out our channels. My channel is Blinky500. Follow me on Twitter, Blinky500, and go to our Facebook page and like it. Mine is Facebook.com/Blinky Productions. Check out the Retcon Chronicles, which is going to be coming up. And stay tuned. I'm going to be announcing some awesome stuff. You do not want to miss what that stuff is going to be.
You're going to all be happy. Trust me. Stay tuned for it.
All right. Well, I'm Chris Notarile of Blinky Productions.
And I'm Roberto Lombardi, actor in Blinky Productions.
Yes. We thank you kindly for tuning in. Thank you for watching the Night of Chris Notarile movies, and please continue to watch.
Good night.
All right. Good night. I'm hanging up now.